Hi, this is Michael. I'm one of the hosts of Edge of Empire. You'll know my voice. You'll less know my face. I'm sorry, put it out your memory. It's really not pretty to look at. What I'm doing here, this is the first video we're putting out on our YouTube channel, and this is a bit of a technical sort of one. I'm just basically checking the technology, making sure that we can do it well. And one of the key things that I think we try to do at our podcast is make sure that we have great audio. We're not always succeeding in that. We've got a long way to go, but we're getting there. Now, what I'm doing here is I'm going to test out the four different types of microphones that we have here at Edge of Empire in our studio. The first one I'm using is the one that I'll probably be using for video work. It's an Audio-Technica ATR 55, which is just off screen here. It is a shotgun telemic, and it's no longer in production. The equivalent is the ATR 6550. It's a shotgun condenser microphone with a tele mode and a normal mode. The tele mode is the one I'm using right now because I need it to pick me up over a little bit of a distance. The normal mode is if you've got it right there in front of you. It uses a 3.5 jack, which plugs into my mixer. Via a converter cable that converts it to 6, and that is quite a good microphone. I like it. So yeah, it's good because, as I said, it keeps it off screen. It means there's nothing between distracting you. Okay, so that's the microphone that I'm using right now, ATR 55. The microphone I'm using now is the microphone that I use to record the podcast with. Now, this is a studio condensing MXL 990. It uses an XLR connection, and it has to go through a mixer because it requires phantom power. It's very, very sensitive, which has its ups and its downs. It gives a more natural voice, but it picks up everything, and I mean everything, which is why occasionally on the episodes you will hear mouse clicks and keyboard taps, which is a distinct advantage and disadvantage to it, but I like it, and it gives a nice voice, and hopefully you can hear the difference there. But it's not going to be used for video work, specifically because, as you can see, it's in the way. It's very distracting. So yeah, that's that. I've got two of these, one that's on permanent setup and one that's in a box, scovered away as a spare, or in case someone else wants to come into the studio. And as you can see, I've mounted it on a scissor arm, and it's got a shock mount, so this reduces impact from the desk, and anything like that. So yeah, I want a pop filter in front of it to deal with the plosives. And that's, yeah, this is the microphone that I use to record the podcast with. So yeah, that's that one. I like it. It's cool, it's funky, it's retro, it looks really nice, but looks aren't everything. The microphone that I'm using now is a really, really, really cheap microphone. It is a Behringer 8500, Ultra Voice 8500. It costs about 20 odd pounds. You can get it cheaper on Amazon, I believe. Again, it's an XLR cable, but in this instance, it's a dynamic microphone. It doesn't require any power. It just works. I have, between my voice and it, I've got a windsock and a pop filter. So yeah, it reduces down the plosives, and it's a good workable microphone. It's a workhorse, and we use this for when we go on the road. As you'll hear in our next episode, when we went to Blood and Glory, we used this to do the recording into the audio recorder. We've got an audio recorder, a Zoom H1, but the only problem with recording from that is you have to hold it, and it's a plastic body, so you can hear. If you use its microphone and you're holding it, you can hear the plastic body contracting as your hand naturally moves around, which can be a bit distracting. But it takes this microphone using an XLR to 3.5mm jack, and it sounds brilliant. And this microphone is one that we use for on the road stuff. We're also intending to use it when we take the studio on the road to things like Company of Legends, where we're going to set up the studio in the at the venue and bring people on and talk to people about the event and how's it gone. This is mounted in a shock mount on a desktop stand, but I have scissor stands like I used for the MXL to record when we're on site, because again we want to reduce down the shock from impacts and stuff and make the sound as good as possible. Now this final microphone that we're using is a Behringer again. It is the XM1800S. Now the 1800S works out as the cheapest microphone we have. Now that is because it costs about £32, but it comes in a pack. Well, I paid £32 for it. It comes in a pack of 3. Now it's less sturdy than the XM8500. It feels less sturdy, and it gives a slightly less warm tone. But this isn't the kind of microphone that we're going to be using day to day. This is the microphone that we're going to be using when we have, you know, all the people on site. At events like Company of Legends. We don't particularly want to take the big studio condensers out because they are fragile, they'll get damaged, whereas these things you can run over them with a car and they'll still work. Plus they're less sensitive, as it were, so there's less chance of microphone bleed, where, you know, if you've got multiple condensers, you'll be picking up the same sound from across them, and it makes it hard to isolate particular streams. But this is brilliant for what we want it to do. And that's the microphones that we're using. As I said, we've got 3 different microphones. I've got a Lavella microphone as well, but I'm having some issues getting that to work with a mixer. That's specifically for some of our radio, for some of our audio, video work, not audio or radio, specifically for some of the video work we want to do. But I'm having a few issues with that. I've just ordered some new batteries for it to see if the battery is an issue. And yeah, so these are the microphones that we're going to be using. So thank you for watching this test video. The next test video, I'm going to try and muck around with multiple cameras. So we'll see how that goes.